Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Café. Thank you so much for joining today. We are in beautiful Grand Junction, Colorado for our class, and we will focus on the shoulders, hips, back, and feet. For today's class, you may want to have 2 blocks and maybe a blanket or pillow for extra cushioning, but know that if you do not have any of these props, that is also perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and get started. Find a comfortable seat and gently close down the eyes. We'll start off with 4, 5, 7 breath, where we will inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 5, and exhale for a count of 7. We'll take one clearing breath together. Deep inhale. Exhale all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Take 2 more rounds at your own pace, taking it slower or faster, whatever suits your body best today. Once you complete your second round of breath, take a deep inhale into your belly and exhale all of the air out of your lungs. Scan through your body. Notice how you feel. Is it any different from when we started the class? For today's class, I invite the intention of being present, of being here in this very moment, without worries about the present, past, or future, simply being. If this theme resonates with you, please carry it throughout the class and allow your mind to wander in the direction of this theme. Once you're ready, gently blink open the eyes and make your way into tabletop position. Tuck the toes under. You may need to move the pinky toe out of the way so that it touches the ground. An option to keep the hands on the ground, or to walk the hands back towards your body and lift up with glutes sitting back on the heels. In this position, you can also cushion between your hips and glutes with a blanket or block to create some elevation here and take the pressure more out of the feet. This can be a very intense stretch, so whenever you are ready to come out, please do come out and tap out your toes to return blood flow. During our yin poses, we are meant to feel very intense sensations, but never painful ones. So if the position ever becomes painful for you, then please come out and add or remove a prop to support your practice, or come into a different pose entirely. In this pose, you will likely feel an intense sensation in the bottoms of your feet. Prepare your body to come out of the pose. Deep inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to the ground, untuck your toes, walk the hands underneath the shoulders, and tap out the feet. Take any gentle movements that feel good in your body, maybe going through a round of cat-cows. and straightening out through one leg and then the other if that feels good to you. Allow these movements to be gentle and fluid without any effort. And whenever you're ready, return to a static tabletop position. Once you arrive, bring the knees out wide and the big toes to touch. And lower your hips towards your heels for child's pose. Walk the hands forward to your extent and lower the chest towards the ground. Create length in the spine. Allow the hips to get heavy here. You can support your chest with a block or bolster to lift it gently up, and maybe to bring a block underneath your forehead as well for additional support. You may feel an opening in the hips and glute area, the lower back, and maybe the shoulders here. Notice where you feel the sensations and the quality of those sensations. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly lift up, back into tabletop position. Walk the hands underneath your shoulders and walk the knees in. Shift the hips from side to side and take any other movements that feel good in your body. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Allow your body to tell you what movements that it needs, what would feel best. Maybe circling through the hips, or tucking the toes under and leaning back one more time. One more breath. And find a static pose when you're ready. Gently lower down all the way onto your belly. Place the elbows underneath the shoulders for Sphinx pose. To decrease the intensity of the stretch, you can bring the elbows out slightly wider and lower your chest towards the ground to create less of a back bend. And to increase, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. The hands can come to touch one another for a prayer position or reach for opposite elbow to allow this to become more of a relaxed position. When we do Sphinx pose in a Yang style class, it is more active where we are pulling our forearms towards our body and pressing the chest forward. But in Yin style classes, Sphinx pose is meant to be as relaxed as possible while still taking note of how the lower back feels. If you feel any pinching sensations in the lower back, engage your glutes gently to release that stress from the lower back. Or lift the chest up with a block or pillow for extra support. Allow the gaze to fall towards the top edge of your mat to create a nice long spine. An option to stay here in Sphinx pose, or to bring the hands out in front, in line with the elbows, and lift up into seal pose. Straighten out through the arms if that feels good. And allow this to become an active yet relaxed pose. This may seem counterintuitive, but do your best to bring yin energy to this posture. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower down, bringing your forehead to the tops of your hands. Shake the hips left and right. An option to bend through the knees and windshield wiper the legs side to side as well. And whenever you're ready, release down to your belly. The forehead can fall on top of the hands. Bend through the right knee. Flex through the toes as you come into half frog. Once you arrive, the forehead can land on top of the hands. The gaze can go either downward or towards the right. Relax the foot. Feel the opening in your hip. If you would like to additionally target your back and shoulder area, you can also lift up for a brief moment and thread your left arm underneath your right as you come into closed wing pose. It may feel nice to place a block underneath your head for additional support. Release here. Breathe into the spaces that are tight or tense. You may feel the opening in your inner thigh area, the lower back, and maybe the shoulder if you are in closed wing. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale. If you are in closed wing pose, press into your right hand. Gently lift out to release your left arm. Lower your forehead to the mat or block. Then lengthen out through your right leg. Invite gentle movements into the body for 3 breaths. And when you are ready, we'll come into half frog on the left side. Bend through the left knee. An option here to either place your forehead on your palms or to gaze out towards the left side. If you would like to come into closed wing on this side, gently lift your chest up. Lean the weight into your left hand as you thread the right arm underneath the left shoulder. Your head can rest on the ground or on a block. Feel the release here. Maybe here you invite ocean breath, a calming, audible breath that sends release into your body and reminds you to release the muscles. Begin this breath if you already know how to do it. Otherwise, follow me. Deep inhale, clearing exhale. Inhale deeply. Engage the whisper muscles at the back of the throat. Audible, ocean-like exhale. The sound can be made by pretending that you are fogging up a mirror, but your mouth is closed. Deep inhale. Audible, ocean-like exhale. One more time. Deep inhale. Audible, ocean-like exhale as if you are fogging up a mirror. Continue with this breath anytime that you need release in your body. Allow it to calm your nervous system, bring you back to this present moment. The breath is a powerful tool to remind us that we are in this moment only, and in this moment is the only time that we are truly alive. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Deep inhale. Exhale. Shift the weight into your left hand if you are in closed wing pose. Lift up gently and release the right arm. Lower your forehead towards the mat and straighten out through the left leg. Invite any gentle movements into your body that feel good here. Maybe shaking the hips left to right. Windshield wipering through the legs, or inviting other intuitive movements that feel good. We have two options for the next pose. The first one is seated cow pose, where we plant the hands behind our hips, open up through the chest. You can keep the legs cross-legged, send them out long, or come into any other comfortable seat that suits you today. To lessen the back bend, you can bring the hands to the tops of the thighs and open up the chest from here. And our second option is supported bridge. So if you do have a block or pillow or bolster, this will be needed in this posture. If you would like to come into supported bridge, make your way to your back. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground with knees towards the sky. The fingertips can barely reach the Achilles tendons. Inhale, lower your back into the ground, press it there. Exhale, lift the hips up, locate your block or pillow, and place it under your hip at any height level. See which one feels best in your body. An option here to keep the legs bent and the hands by the sides. An additional option to send the legs out long. For an additional shoulder opener, you can also bring hands overhead. Take any posture that feels good to you. If you are in supported bridge, you may feel an opening in your hip flexors, the front side of your belly, and maybe the shoulders if your arms are overhead. And if you are in seated cow pose, you may feel an opening in the chest area and the shoulders. In both of these postures, we are additionally targeting the lower to mid back and spinal extension. Prepare your body to move from the pose. To release from seated cow pose, bring the chin to the chest, bend through the elbows and lean forward. Walk the hands forward, bring the soles of the feet to the ground, and move in any way that feels good. Maybe windshield wipering left and right. If you are in supported bridge pose and your legs are out long, Bring the soles of the feet back to the ground. If your hands are overhead, bring them by your sides. Inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up and remove the block. Lower your hips towards the ground. An option to windshield wiper the knees left and right if that feels good. We will all meet on our backs. So if you are in a seated position, gently lower down, taking your time to get there. Once you arrive, lift your legs up towards the sky as if you're stepping on the ceiling or on the sky for legs up the wall. You can use an actual wall as well if that feels better for you. Then relax the legs on the wall. Otherwise, keep the legs towards the sky or ceiling. This can be a very restorative pose. It's nice for changing the direction of the blood flow, bringing more of it down into the upper half of your body. This posture can be very nice after a very long day on your feet, to relieve tension from the lower half of the body. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly lower the legs down. An option to bring the knees towards the chest and rock side to side. Massage the lower back and allow it to feel good. When you're ready, place the soles of the feet on the ground towards the wide edges of the mat. Lift the hips up and set them gently to the left. Allow the knees to fall over towards the right side for supine twist. The left hand can reach out towards the left. The gaze can go towards the sky or towards your left hand. We won't be here for too long. We're just neutralizing the spine before we come into our final resting pose. Deep inhale. Exhale, draw the knees back towards the chest. Rock side to side for one breath. And when you're ready, set the soles of the feet at the wide edges of the mat. Lift the hips up and then set the hips slightly towards the right. Allow both knees to fall over towards the left. The knees can come closer together and stack one on top of the other. Allow both shoulders to touch the ground. The right arm can reach out towards the side. Breathe here and allow for release in the back. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. Draw the knees into the chest one last time. Rock side to side. Before we come into our final resting pose, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, let us know how this went for you in the comments. And with that, we'll go into our final resting pose. We have two options for the final resting pose. The first is to come into Shavasana with legs out long and hands by the sides. And the other option is to return to legs up the wall, if that felt good to you. Take your time choosing your option, and then settle in to your final resting pose. Scan through the entire body. Notice how you feel here. If the theme of presence resonated with you, maybe you think about it here in the final resting pose and see where your mind goes. What does presence mean to you? And are there ways in which you'd like to be more present? For the next few moments, allow your mind and body to relax here, and I will call you out when it's time. Stay here in Shavasana for as long as you like. Pause the video if you would like to stay here longer. If you are ready to come out, invite gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Circles to the wrists and ankles. Stretch the arms overhead. For one last full body stretch, point and flex the toes. Bend through one knee, and then the other, and slowly make your way to one side. And once you're ready, gently lift up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes can remain heavy here. Inhale, arms overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower palms to third eye center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find peace and happiness, and might my words, thoughts, and actions create a space of peace and happiness for others. Bow towards one another to close off the practice. And once you're ready, gently lift up. Blink open the eyes to take in the space around you. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.